record labels tend to kind of like orchestrate, great music in a sense where they would get people to write music for you or whatnot, and now I'm starting to see a lot of artists that are doing it themselves because they don't have the luxury of a $1 million label backing them up and helping them form their career or their style. So they have to do it on their own.
Yeah, it's switched entirely. And I think that big paradigm shift contributed so much to what artists are doing now. But let's define this stuff because I think it's important. I think it's important for us to be able to say who is a performer or define performer and define a writer, right?
So maybe Drake, let's say he's a performer.
He's a performer. Drake's got a huge team of ghostwriters. A performer is someone who doesn't necessarily write their own lyrics, maybe doesn't write their own music, has minimal involvement if they do, but they're mostly involved or they're mostly out there performing this music for their charisma, for their singing or vocal ability or performance ability, or even for their story, their aesthetics.
And he's an MC or a rapper, but he also sings. So I think he gets a pass. I don't know if he gets a pass because I don't think people care about that anymore. I mean, when I was a youngster, that was a big deal. Like, especially if you're a rapper, like, you're not gonna rap someone else's lyrics because it was phony and
you were fake.
You were fake. Like, why would you rap someone else's lyrics? It's supposed to be about you and and your personality.
We both grew up in different genres. I would say different groups of music that both had that in common. You like OG like hip hop, me rap.
You would get called out. You would get called out real easy, real quick, if you were you had a ghostwriter. That would have been like, your credibility would have went.
Well, how are you about to be a rapper, rapping about all this really important stuff, rapping about these huge issues or personal issues, and you actually didn't experience any of them, and you didn't write any of it? How are you about to do that?
But overall, in a business aspect, we realize that you need a team in any business, and especially when you're in the higher level of business, you can't do everything by yourself.
Right.
And I think that's where I could see someone like a Little John or a Drake would make very successful music, but also be very relatable at the same time because they know themselves and what they have to give to the song, and what they also need to improve that song as well.
Yeah, well, let's define a writer, because I think that's going to help us actually think about both as two different concepts, but then think about how these specific artists are doing that and what kind of encompasses an artist in general, right? So a writer, someone who writes their own music, can even potentially write music for other people.
Right.
Yeah. Someone who is known for their skills on rhyming, actually putting together lyrical content or production or whatever it may be, and might be focused on putting that message out there through their own means, whether they're performing it or whether they're not performing it.
Have you ever heard of Sia?
Sia is a perfect example. Ed Sheeran is a perfect example.
Well, Sia not only did not want to show her face for a long time, I mean, she wrote some of the biggest hits for Rihanna and other people.
Yep.
And now, I think she put out a record. Don't quote me on that. But with all the songs that nobody wanted.
It's basically everything that she tried to give to people that nobody actually jumped on.
Yeah,
okay.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's the cool thing, because you're talking, all right, you have an artist, and I'm a manager. I'm a music manager. I come from that world. So when I talk to an artist, there's more or less 3 different artists, if I'm generalizing as best as possible, that we talk to. One, it's the musician's musician, who really plays music, is super good at what they do, is very talented, but may not have the story or the angle, or doesn't have the
commercial appeal.
Even the commercial appeal, but also specifically the ability to want to be in front of people.
They don't care.
Because there's a celebrity to it.
Yeah, they don't care. They're playing music for their friends and their peers. And
exactly.
They're not trying to build a brand or nothing like
exactly.
That, quote unquote. Sometimes, I mean, someone like Prince, where they took, the artistic value of the musicianship, but then also took the artistic value of creating a brand.
An entire production.
Yeah,
You're
and
talking entire persona.
everything from the beginning to the end, to the
Yep.
website, to the way they sell their music.
Yep.
It's very detailed. Not a lot of people do that.
Exactly. So then you have the other artist, the Prince. Well, maybe not the Prince, but the Drake, the artist who has the potential commercial appeal, may have the story, has the ability to actually talk to people and be able to be the front person, be able to be the face or the voice or something. And then the last thing you have is these artists that we're focusing on, who are artists who do both, right? Who have been put in a place where they're writing their own music, they're performing their own music, they're creating their own artistry, and they're doing all parts of it, which is hard, which is not easy, right? There's a reason why, like you mentioned in the beginning, record labels were spending so much time focusing on how to build artists, how to develop artists, how to
Right.
invest in artists, and basically
Millions of dollars.
curate them, like the K-pop scene, right?
Right.
Curate them from kids.
And all those A&Rs and writers are writing for these kids now, the K-pop kids now, because a record label is not really going to mess with you until you already have a big following already.
Right.
Necessarily,
Yeah.
You have to be some kind of, rare breed or something had to pop real quick. But usually they're looking at how many followers you got,
Right.
how many SoundCloud, listens do you have, are you on a Spotify playlist?
You have to build now
Yeah.
before you even get the recognition or noticed from a label.
But then you have people like Chance the Rapper that took that to their advantage, where they had the ball in their court the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, that is what excites me about the music industry nowadays, is that you don't have to be selected anymore. You could do it on your own. If you can create your own lane, who the fuck can tell you anything?
Right.
You have your own followers.
And you've built it for yourself. You own it.
Yeah.
You are the captain of your own ship.
Yeah, like it's not. We said it before. It's not Chance the Rapper's fault that people fuck with his music. Straight up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just he found his lane, and he's talking to his audience, and he doesn't need you to help him. He's already doing.
But there's
he
a
found.
place. There's a place for the artist who. I mean, we're talking the biggest artists in the world who work with teams of writers.
Well,
in order to
wait,
make songs.
but not only that, but let's bring that back. I mean, I've met Chance the Rapper, and I've seen his team. He's got great people around him.
Yeah.
And you have to have great people around you and to advise you. You can't do it around yourself. But what I'm saying is, you might not need a big record label to get you to the next level, or might not need a big record label to put you in a platform when you have something that people want,
Right.
a good product.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out how to get it to the people.